Friday morning, everybody.
It's not the same without your
Yeah.
I'm going to be honest, dude. It's not the same.
Growl.
So
we need it.
Welcome,
how
welcome,
you know.
welcome everybody. This is WMNF. You are listening to 88.5 WMNF.org. You're listening to Down and Dirty. My name is Mario Nunez, and today in studio I've got my co-host.
Good morning, Mario. John Dingfelder. How are you, sir?
I'm doing great, Papa. Last week, I missed being with you guys. We were celebrating the life of a Tampeño of certain note, Mr. Jerry DiFabrizio, whose family for over 60 years owned and operated Tampa Tile. And for those of you old enough to remember, it was Tampa Tile and Terrazzo at one day. And Jerry, we lost Jerry suddenly and tragically on November 2nd. So I felt it necessary, and I was there for us, both of us, because I know you knew Jerry as well.
Sure. Sorry to the family and to you and to all of his friends.
And all of us here in Tampa, because, he had just retired and he had just gotten to the point where he was ready to celebrate the rest of his life with his children and grandchildren. And here's the takeaway. Man, we got to celebrate every day, don't we?
Absolutely.
Because
Makes you think.
It's not promised, and things are spinning a little wonky right now. Yeah. A little wonky, where the gyro is a little off, as it were.
So what are we happy for, Mario?
Oh, we're gonna go there. Yeah, yes, and of course Jason Marlowe, everybody is our board engineer, our board op this morning, and there he is. So in keeping with the tradition on Friday mornings, we typically do something that gets stuck in our craw all week, right? Something that we just have to get off.
Because we're down and dirty.
Because we're down and we're definitely dirty. Yeah. We got to get something off our chest. So I think this morning, in keeping with what's about to happen next week, don't eat too much turkey. There's your public service announcement. Let's do something that we're thankful for. And you want me to kick it off?
No, I'm going to kick it off.
Please do.
Because I can't be more thankful for the fact that on Saturday, my whole troop arrives for Thanksgiving for a week, and really we haven't done this since COVID. So it's been three long years. But I've got
you're gonna get the band back together, huh?
My son, my daughter, their families. Everybody coming in, they get to see great grandma Adele.
Nice,
and we all enjoy the whole week together, and then Thanksgiving next week. So
that's a beautiful holiday.
Can't think of anything that make me more happier than that.
And well, you should. And Jason, how about you, partner? What? There you go. You're gonna let that clap go on a little bit longer.
All right, well,
Jason,
abbreviated clap.
What do you think? What are you thankful for?
I'm thankful for. It's weird. The Monday after Thanksgiving will make it. I've lived here 6 years, which is crazy because everybody always says you've only been here 6 years.
Yeah, it feels like forever.
No worries.
From my perspective,
I appreciate that. I appreciate that. I extend the time for you.
Soon after you got here, I remember you volunteering on our campaign.
I was knocking doors. I drove a truck with you. That's the very first time and only time I've ever driven a truck. That's a true story.
There's still a few dents.
I would have had to have been really careful. We were in South Tampa. I'm thankful for this town. I came here, I knew nobody. And this town has really embraced me. And I'm really thankful for the people here. I just want to give a quick shout out because I know we have limited time. But Representative Valdez, friend of the show, is doing a Thanksgiving drive. You can drop off any kind of Thanksgiving food to her office at 221 North Himes Avenue, Suite B. Her amazing legislative aide, Sarah Foster, will be there. She's got a great smile. She will help collect your food.
Susan Valdez, a heart of gold.
Yeah, and listen, we're going to be talking all day about, being thankful and, trying to give back to others. But this is a great opportunity. If you are listening today and you want to do something today, you can.
Absolutely. Mario, you're up.
I'm up. So thankful for, I guess the obvious thing is mom and dad, right?
Oh, yeah.
I just this September turned 65, and I know a lot of people, my contemporaries, my age, have probably lost one or both of their parents.
Look at you.
We're at that time of our lives.
Both of them.
95 and 93, they're both pretty vibrant and healthy for their age, certainly. They celebrated 75 years married this past April, which is impressive and a statistic that is hardly even accomplished anymore. So I guess I'm thankful for my family as well, starting with the patriarch and the matriarch. And then, all the way down to the great-grandchildren where they're concerned, and my granddaughter now. So this is that time of year when we gather, we share stories, we try not to overeat, but it's also a slippery slope, Johnny, because, it starts with Halloween. It starts with Halloween and the bagfuls and bagfuls of candy, which every year the candy gets worse and worse, but that's another discussion. And then it goes through Thanksgiving, ultimately to Noche Buena, which is, and Christmas and all the good stuff that comes with Christmas, and even all through New Year's.
I think even in the Bible that says, "My gut runneth over."
And we're still, hey, there we go, here we go. And we're still eating and drinking until January 2nd, more or less. And then we get hit with either Weight Watchers or Jenny Craig commercials to remind us, man, you put on 10 pounds, homie, and you shouldn't have.
Damn.
Because we told you about that.
Yeah.
And as we get older, those 10 pounds tend to stick and stay.
Absolutely.
They don't get off as, you don't lose them as readily as we once did.
So I had one
thankful
more.
for family.
You reminded me with Jerry. What was that?
That was sad trombone.
You said, wah, wah,
Little sad
wah.
trombone music.
You reminded me one other sad note.
Right.
My
sad stuff.
my wife's son Christopher lost his dad a week ago today.
He had been ill for a minute, as I recall.
He'd been ill for a while, and his name was Dale. Good guy, funny guy. Chris is hurting right now. We're
thinking about you,
send him our
Chris.
love. Yep.
We're thinking about you, Chris.
Brandy, his gal, stepped up, and we appreciate her. We appreciate all of them. All right, let's move on to brighter things.
Okay, brighter things, because it's Friday, and we want to usher you into the weekend kind of on a happy note. We want to send you on your way at the end of this hour with feelings uplifted, right?
Absolutely.
All right, so today we're talking, Johnny?
Yeah, we've got Metropolitan Ministries in the house today.
Met Ministries.
All right, you got that. Where's that bell?
Oh, where's that bell and where's that applause?
He's asleep at the wheel.
Yes, he is. Come on now, Met Ministries.
right.
Let's do it again. Take two.
All right, we've got Metropolitan Ministries in the house. Thank you, Jason.
There you go.
I like that.
Raucous applause.
Let that applause go a little longer.
Specifically, we have this young man, Jalen Robinson, a local fine example of a local homegrown guy. And he's here on behalf of Metropolitan Ministries. He's going to tell us about Metropolitan Ministries, for those of you who don't know what's going on over there, what your program is, and what people in the community can do to help. So welcome, Jalen.
Thank you so much for having me, and it's great to be here. You guys have got all the energy on this Friday morning, so I'm just feeding off of that. So
You should have seen us 5 minutes before they lit the light. We were kind of half asleep, but
that's the Friday energy that we need. But like you said, thank you for the introduction. I'm so glad to be here. Working with Metropolitan Ministries, as you all were just talking about what you're thankful for, all I could think about was all the great things that are happening right now around the community with giving out food and food distributions and holiday giveaways. We've got our pop-ups going on right now where we're giving out holiday meals and food to families all over the 3 counties here. And it just made me think about, the small stuff we take for granted can mean some of the biggest, most life-changing moments to others. And so as you all were talking about what you were thankful for, I was just, getting a little happy over here. Like this is exactly what it's all about. So just a little bit about Metropolitan Ministries. As you all know, we're in the business of helping those who need it the most, whether it is providing shelter, whether it's providing food, or any of the many other needs that people and residents all over Hillsborough County, Pinellas County, and Pasco and surrounding counties may face. Specifically with my program, the Neighbor Hope Project, we took a little different approach to getting to where the families are. So many times we expect families to come to us and to come downtown to where we are, to come to us for need. But what we're doing with the Neighbor Hope Project is we're actually going out into the community. So we've identified zip codes in each of the 3 counties, so Pinellas, Hillsborough, and Pasco. And we've looked at the numbers in these zip codes, and we've looked at a couple things. So high childhood poverty rates, and then we looked at what other resources and assets are already going on in those communities, what's already happening. Because sometimes we start to think, when we think about communities that are in need, we start to think that there isn't anything going on. There isn't any support there. There aren't any assets. And that's the wrong approach to take, because these communities are doing stuff for themselves already. So it's really about connecting with what's already happening and figuring out how we can be more of an asset than just coming in and trying to take over.
But the key to Neighbor Hope, it's on your shirt. The Neighbor Hope Project is proactivity. You're being proactive and
Yes.
going to the folks that need you the not
Right.
need you the most, but need you a lot.
Right, right. And then going to where the people are. So not expecting them to just know that we've got resources and services just because we've got them, but actually going to where the people are. And being a neighbor. That's why I really like the name Neighbor Hope, because we're their neighbors. So we're the neighbors of the community. We're neighbors of the residents. It's not so much as a one-sided relationship, but we need each other for this thing to work.
Now, what kind of services, what kind of
Outreach?
other things, outreach can you bring to them? And where do you bring it? Do you bring it to the churches, the community centers? What?
Everywhere. So we've got community navigators here in Hillsborough County, and what these community navigators do, they are really the game changers. They are the ones that are out there working with these individuals, working with these families, getting them connected to not only the resources that are available through Metropolitan Ministries, but the other resources that are already out there in the community that are also providing services. So our navigators are at community centers, they're at churches, they're at different places where they know people are so that they can be seen with their shirts on, with their flyers, at community events, just different places to be wherever the people are.
I see. And what's the response you're getting out there? And how long has the program been around, this particular one?
So I've been here 2 years. So when I got here, my title role, Director of Community Collaboration, is when we started, it's when we really kicked it off. And, we've been out in our 3 targeted zip codes, which are 33619, 33610, and 33605. We've been out there in Boys and Girls Clubs and libraries and just different Palm River Family Services organization out there. So we've been seeing, tons of people since we've been out there. So for about 2 years, we've been making an impact.
Wow, that's fantastic. And where would the funding come from for this specific program? Is it federal funding, local, county funding, or just donations?
So all of the above. This is one of our community-based programs, so it's funded by the organization. So donors, the community, how we're able to do what we've been able to do overall is how we're able to continue to push forth this program.
And large benefactors are always welcomed, and of course the
Large and small, right?
the twos and fews too, right? So and there's no donation too small. And if you'd like to get in on this conversation, I want to remind everybody this is an interactive program where your voice can be heard as well. If you have a question or a comment, you've got an experience you'd like to share with us, or even an area in need that maybe we haven't thought about, give us a call at 813-239-9663. Email dj@wmnf.org or text us 813-433-0885. I've got a comment for you, young man. I see your shirt. It's kicking. I love it. It's good. It's better than good. It's great. So what I think is when you're out there in the community and you're doing your work and you're present and you're visible, you got to come up with a shirt that features that blue color, because it's dynamic, it's gorgeous, and people can see that from 3 blocks away. I'm just saying.
On the shirt it says.
I'm just saying.
On the shirt it says in blue, hope.
And hope,
That's what
of
it's
course,
all about.
and we're featuring hope, right? So the hope does jump off the shirt. But I'm just saying, unless you got 200 people wearing the same shirt, then that's a whole different situation. But congratulations on the great work you're doing. We can tell in 5 minutes the sincerity comes out, and we know that you're in the right place doing the right thing. This is what you're supposed to be doing.
So, you talked a little bit about the importance of getting out into the community. Obviously, we live in a community where transportation is limited. Folks may not have a car. It's not necessarily easy to get around with a bus. Can you talk a little bit more about how important it is for you guys to be able to get out into the community and reach people where they are, as opposed to them, like you said, having to come downtown? Like, how much removing the obstacle of transportation helps you guys make a difference?
It's almost game changing, because on top of, just transportation, people got to work. So if I don't have transportation and I have to be to work, so the limited transportation that I do have has been used to go with my already planned schedule, but now I need assistance. So I have to come down to see you at 9 o'clock in the morning when I'm supposed to be at work. So the transportation barrier creates so many other barriers that it's imperative that we can be found at the library in the neighborhood or the community center that's around the corner, instead of, making families and individuals just rack their brain around how they're going to figure out transportation. And believe it or not, there are so many of our individuals and families around the community that don't have a car or don't have access to transportation. And our city buses aren't the best. So
They are not.
You know, it could take somebody 2 hours to get 10 miles down the road. So it's imperative that we're in the communities.
So let's talk about some of the other programs Metropolitan Ministries has. You guys have many programs. And, of course, I drive up and down Florida Avenue, as does Jason, regularly. And we see your large facility there. It looks to me like it's a little more toward families and residential. How's that work?
Yeah, so we have our emergency shelter and we have our units on site as well. And then, you know, besides all the great stuff we have going on that campus that you see on Florida, we have our community-based programs like First Hug, Pathways to Hope, and these community-based programs, they focus on specific target populations. For instance, our First Hug program focuses on families with kids who are birth age to middle school. So we have, you know, education programs. We have programs, you know, we have the school right there also, but we have after-school programs. We have our Sable Place, and we have education programs associated with that. So, like you said, there are so many different things that Metropolitan Ministries, and in addition to what we're doing in Hillsborough.
You meant don't go past Sable Place, because
Yes.
I think that was really, really neat. What was that, about a year or two ago? Hillsborough County got hooked up with a developer, a not-for-profit developer. They built a beautiful apartment complex that's, I think it's 100% affordable housing, right?
Yes.
That's called Sable what?
Sable Place, and that's over in the Seffner area, down, you know, towards going east down MLK.
I'm sure it filled up very quickly.
Absolutely. And it's
I'm going to give a shout out to County Commissioner Kimberly Oberman.
Yeah, man. She fought doggedly for 4 years for housing and is still doing it now, you know, in a nonprofit capacity.
Yeah, I know she worked really hard on that. I saw the ribbon cutting on your website. So we need plenty more of those.
Yeah, you know, that's, you know, one of the big issues right now. There's not enough. And, you know, no matter how much more you build, there's still, you know, and the numbers
need
are
is
growing.
endless, it seems.
People aren't stopping, you know, coming to Tampa. So, you know, we've got to at some point meet the need, and it's here.
Blue Sky is the developer.
They're wonderful.
Yeah,
I would like to remind everybody, because, you know, Mr. Robinson, you're kind of a young man, you know, and we're kind of not so young.
Speak for yourself.
Well, yeah, but I can't see you. You're on the other side of the monitor. But I'd like to remind everybody, bring everybody back to how you got connected to Metropolitan Ministries, because you're homegrown.
Yes,
you are born and raised here.
Yes.
So this is kind of this kind of work. People that are listening understand they have to at an organic level. You're drawn to this. This isn't something that you set out to do when you're in the 9th grade. This is organically who you are.
and the son of educators.
Well, that's what I wanted you to take a minute and give mom and dad some love and some props, and
Yes.
tell us where you grew up and where you went to school.
So we were talking earlier before the show started. We shared, we both were at Booker T. Washington, and I was there as a student, and he was there as an educator, as a teacher. And, it just kind of really makes me, how you said earlier, how you appreciated the community. Yeah. This is really the community that raised and, brought me up. And so a lot of the work that we're doing today, even, the work that we're doing through Metropolitan Ministries and the targeting of these zip codes, these are zip codes that I grew up in, that I was raised in, that I still live in to this day. So when it comes to this kind of work, it's not just, numbers on paper. It's not just things that I've read in a book before. It's your
extended family.
This is my family, so, born here, raised here, from Broward Elementary to Booker T. Washington, then all the way over to South County and Riverview. So I've been all over, born in Progress Village, raised out there, Southeast Tampa. And, I started my journey as an educator, working with the youth, after school programs, mentoring programs, and community development organizations that are just doing, community development and work. So when I saw this position 2 years ago, I was like, community collaboration. I've been community collaborating my whole life. This is
that seemed like a no-brainer.
So I felt like it was a perfect fit. And what I really love being able to do is to highlight the small nonprofit organizations and leaders who are doing the work, because so many times they don't get the spotlight, they don't get the attention, they don't get the funding. So they don't get, they're not seen, but they're there, they're doing work. So being able to, provide small mini grants through Metropolitan Ministries to these small organizations who are doing the work is something that, gives me a little joy, because these are people that I've seen doing the work my whole life. So being able to come back and say, okay, here's some help. Here's how we can collaborate. Here's how I can connect you with this resource. So I really like just being able to give back to the community that gave to me.
And you're the facilitator in the middle that makes it all kind of work. So congratulations. Congratulations on all the tough work you're doing and continue to do, because it seems like, when we talked about it earlier, the need each and every year kind of grows, right? It mounts on us. And, if last year it was this much, this year it's this much plus.
Right.
I saw an interesting statistic, and we'll talk about this a little bit more, that during, I think a couple of years ago, the homeless issue, that dropped down to like 800 homeless during the count. I think that was maybe during COVID or something. But it's more than doubled by last year's count, by 2023, up into 2,000. It went from 800 up into 2,000, and that's just the count. And the count, might not be as accurate as it needs to be. But anyway, so the need is huge. Before we roll into our next guest, tell us about the big Metropolitan Ministries tent. I've worked in that tent before, collecting food. Are you guys doing that again this year?
Yes, we are doing the holiday tent for not just for, Christmas, but Thanksgiving and Christmas.
Too.
So we've got that going on.
Where's the tent at, and what can people do and bring?
So what's that address? What's that? 2609 North Rome Avenue.
Yeah. I've done it the last 2 years.
Yes.
What's the cross street? North Rome.
Probably the closest cross street is Columbus and
Columbus.
Rome.
Left.
Okay.
Yeah, you
Just
take a
I
left.
haven't seen it yet.
Make that left.
So 2609 North Columbus.
North Rome.
North Rome, yeah, so
near
north on-
Columbus.
Yes.
Folks can bring food.
Yes,
Are they
accepting
doing
donations.
presents, children's presents, food. I've seen
Yes.
people with a trunkload of turkeys, frozen turkeys.
Yes. And the families can come and they get a box of food, they get toys for the kids, and then they get the protein, whether that's ham or turkey for the holiday meal.
It is a wonderful place to volunteer if you're
Yes.
looking for a place to give back.
Okay.
Highly recommend.
All right, Mario, I think we have our second guest in the same idea, the same concept for today's show. Who do we got?
Let's see.
Ooh, drama.
Caller, you're on the air. Tell us your name and where you're calling from.
Hey, this is Shannon Hannon Olivero from Feeding Tampa Bay.
Of course it is. Shannon, how are you?
I'm doing great. How are you guys doing today?
We're doing wonderful. We didn't keep you on hold too long, did we?
Not at all. In fact, it was a blessing because I was on the road and now I'm pulled over and we can chat properly.
See, timing is everything. That's what we say here on the show all the
We
time.
want you to be safe, Shannon. Shannon, thanks for calling in. Thanks for joining us.
Absolutely.
If you didn't hear, Shannon is a representative of Feeding America Tampa Bay, and that
Feeding Tampa Bay.
Just feeding
Feeding
Tampa Bay.
Okay.
Feeding Tampa Bay.
And that organization has just grown and grown during COVID. It was just
It's doing
instrumental
amazing things.
to so many families in need, and your work continues on and on. Tell us a little bit about yourself, Shannon, and a little bit about the organization.
So I've been in nonprofit for about 21 years, and I've been in hunger relief for 7. I'm really fortunate to be with Feeding Tampa Bay. Everyone can understand what hunger means, but being hungry isn't what food insecurity is about. So in Tampa Bay area, we have nearly 1 million people who are food insecure and really, really need our help. Not during the holidays, but every day.
And how do you define that, food insecure?
Food insecure is when you don't have access to healthy foods, whether it's a financial thing, whether you live in an area that doesn't have a grocery store. But a lot of that is, especially now with inflation, it has a lot to do with that economic impact, right? People can't afford much of anything extra these days.
Yeah, I think I read on the website that when you're having to make a choice between gasoline or food for your family, those are choices people shouldn't have to be making.
But they're making them all the time, unfortunately.
They really are. And, we know that if someone comes to us and they need food, or one of our partners, we have over 400 partners that we provide food for to distribute out into the community. So think of Feeding Tampa Bay in the first degree is the biggest grocery store in the 10 counties that is West Central Florida. So if folks need to distribute food, they typically get that from us and then distribute it out into the communities that need. That way we make sure that folks have something near them, and that will help diminish food insecurity. But we know if you need food, you need so many more things, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So what do you have, like a single collection point or multiple collection points? And where do you get all this food from?
So where we get the food from is that we are also the food rescuer in the Tampa Bay area. So we have partners from all over. Any place that you can purchase food, donate to us as well. And it may be something where branding has changed. It might be a can that isn't so pretty and has a little ding in it. It might be fruit or vegetables that they don't want to put out. They all donate it and send it our way. But since COVID and with, providing 92 million meals in the year after that, we are purchasing as well. And how folks can help is you can host a food drive of your own. But at Feeding Tampa Bay, from a donation perspective, $1 equals 5 meals. So
Wow.
Any effort that anyone can do makes a huge impact on our community. So that's feedingtampabay.org. We have all the buttons on how you can access at the top, and that's Find Food, which is really important. But there's also volunteering. We couldn't do our work without the volunteers that are in alongside us. So we need almost 5,000 volunteers a month to get the food out into the community that's needed.
Wow. So I saw on the website you were either planning or building a large facility. Did that happen?
Yeah, it's on Causeway, right?
Yeah, it's on Causeway Boulevard.
I was there for the ribbon cutting.
Okay.
Yeah, we open in 2024. That's where we did our groundbreaking, and in true Feeding Tampa Bay style, we didn't cut a ribbon. We actually blew the ground up with dynamite.
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It was quite the production.
We did. So then when we open our doors and invite the public in to celebrate with us, we'll be open before that in May of 2024.
Wow.
It'll be an event that you'll want to join us at. But the reason why we're doing that is we have 80,000 square feet now. And, when pushed to the limit, can provide those 92 million meals, but we need more capacity. We need also, like I said, if you need food, there's other things going on. We plan on connecting folks to services, so hopefully we can get them independent and have that pride behind that. So it's more than food. We're truly going to feed Tampa Bay in a number of ways.
So, Shannon, I don't know if you had a chance to listen while you were driving. We have some folks here from Metropolitan Ministries. I have a feeling that you probably work with Metropolitan Ministries and coordinate in different ways.
We absolutely do. I know they're doing their magnificent holiday tent. It's such an impact that men gives and supports our community. But we often provide food when they need it. I know they do their own food drives and well, but we're there to support them in any way that we can, because it's really about is supporting our community and getting them on the path to stability.
Right. And especially the fresh food. That always jumped out at me, because I think that there's sort of a void there in certain communities about
100%.
about fresh food. Maybe too much fast food and not enough fresh food. I think you guys really jump into that void, don't you?
We really do. It's all about making sure people have that experience of fresh food, fresh protein. Everything to have that balance. It's wonderful for cans and boxes, but you really need all of those to have a healthy diet and support that. So we do distribute all of those things, and they're foods to encourage better health. Right? So anytime we have our own, throughout 76 schools, we have little grocery stores inside of schools, and from elementary all the way up to college, where students and their families can go in and truly shop in a free grocery store. We call them our pantries. So that is really important to offer that. I know food banking years ago was regarded in a different way, and folks were given what was deemed as leftover. But that we're very thoughtful in our approach of that. Even when we see folks donating food, they think about it and they donate meals.
Well, Shannon, we have a call. I'm not sure if it's for you or Min, or let's take the call.
Okay.
Mario, hold on.
All right. Caller, you're on
Shannon,
the air.
you stay with us.
Tell us your name and where you're calling from.
Oh, hi. This is Kelly Scharf, and
Hey.
I'm calling from Tampa.
Hi, Kelly.
Hey, Kelly.
I'm listening to the show, and I just wanted to comment that recently I volunteered at Feeding Tampa Bay, and they're such an amazing program. I was so energized by the facilities and all the things they do. They have this great area set up like a grocery store, and the people that can come in, it's just fun. And like John was saying, they have great fresh fruit and vegetables. And it's like, I think they use the term dignity when people come in. It's
Yes.
not like, I don't know how to say, but it's just like they empower the people, and it's just a beautiful facility, and you don't feel like you're just showing up and getting a box of whatever they hand you. You're shopping for what you want for you and your family.
So, Kelly, how were you able to plug in? Did you go online and let them know you were coming? Do you have to qualify? Do you recall?
No, they reached out to us just because they were. I was trying to set up a volunteer day for city council, but anybody can volunteer. They're easy. Just connect with them, and they'll tell you how to come out. And they have lots of different volunteer opportunities.
For those who don't know, Kelly is the incomparable aide to a friend of the show, Councilwoman Lynn Hertak. Big shout out to Kelly. Kelly, you're amazing.
Okay.
Thank you. And if I wanted to say one more community nonprofit that I just recently visited that I thought was the most amazing program, and I encourage everyone to go to their website and check them out. Community Stepping Stones. It's one of my new favorite nonprofits, and I'm trying to do everything I can to get them support.
Is that up there in Sulphur Springs?
Indeed.
Yes, where Sulphur Springs needs help, as everyone knows, and this is an amazing nonprofit that hooks kids up with free after school and summer camps, doing art projects.
Yeah, you and I talked about that a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
I love that place too.
Thank you so much, Kelly. Thank you
Thank
for your
you so
call.
much,
Thank you for the
Kelly.
work you continue to do. We so appreciate you. Thank you, hon.
All right, happy Thanksgiving.
So-
Same to you.
so-
Thank you.
So, Jalen, back to you with Metropolitan Ministries. Kelly was talking about volunteers. You guys have a ton of volunteers. Matter of fact, my Rotary Club, Ybor City Rotary Club, we come volunteer, send you about 20 people every year to help. When the people drive in with their cars, we unload the cars, then we sort the cans. I like sorting the cans, But anyway, so how does that work?
Absolutely. So volunteers are a big part of what we do. We wouldn't be able to do, some of the drives and the distributions that we do without the volunteers. So everything is right on our website. You just go over to the website, click on volunteers, and all the different opportunities for not only Thanksgiving, but Christmas. They're all up there to volunteer, whether it's with an individual or with a group or team of people.
Now, if on the flip side, if folks with dignity want, have needs in their household and they want a bag of groceries for their Thanksgiving meal, is that also online or what?
So we're full for Thanksgiving.
Okay.
But for the Christmas holidays, we still have a limited amount available. So go right on over to that website, and a big Get Help, sign will pop up, and we'll navigate families what they need to do to sign up.
And if they're not comfortable on the computer, there's a phone number?
So they always can come and register in our Family Support Center. And if not, you can call in and somebody will help you, somebody at the desk. And the number that they can call is 813-209-1000. 813-209-1000. And that number will give you whatever you need.
Fantastic.
That's easy to remember, even though I wrote it down. Let's give it to them again, just in case they were scrambling for their pencil right at that moment. It's 813-209-1000.
And speaking of phone numbers, how about ours?
Yeah, what's our phone number? Of course, thank you. It's 813-239. Yeah, that's beautiful. You know, timing is everything. 813-239-9663. We do have some emails coming in that I'm trying to respond to as the conversation continues here on the floor. DJ at WMNF.org. You can always text us 813-433-0885. This time of year, you know, this is always brought to our attention. And we know that the need is more pressing this time of year because we're all celebrating, we're all with family, and we don't, you know, sometimes it gets away from us. We don't remember, or we kind of push it out of our mind a minute. But this goes on all year, does it not?
Absolutely.
So we want to be cognizant of this all year long. We just don't want to lose our momentum once we say Happy New Year and then we go back to business as usual. Because as we know, people are moving here. They have found us. They are not stopping. And although some of us would like to wish we had a magic wand that we could stop some of that until we catch up a little bit, right?
Right.
Because we're getting hammered. The homeless issue is also on the forefront. We see that all the time. And the pressing need. Government can only do so much, John. You were in city government. Government can only do so, and we always ask them to do more. But then where are the resources going to come from? Where are those assets going to come from?
Oh, man, I want to pick up on that for a second because, you know, I don't want to verge into politics for more than a second, but we have some county commissioners out there that think, despite the fact that government, as you said, can't do everything and, you know, shouldn't do everything, there are lots of nonprofits out here like Community Stepping Stones, like Metropolitan Ministries, like a number of other organizations like Feeding Tampa Bay. They depend to some extent, right, on municipal support for them to be able to do the things that they do. And we need a government that is actively supporting these nonprofits to help fill those gaps that government cannot fill themselves.
Or
And so,
will
like,
not. Or will not.
Yeah,
because
frankly,
in some cases they will not.
Yeah, like Sulphur Springs, which has just been neglected since 1929. So, you know, I just want to highlight the fact that there are a lot of 501c3s out there that are working their tail off to do good things for people in spaces that government just can't reach, or like you said, Mario, won't reach.
Yeah. Shannon, you still with us?
I am.
Hey, so I'm curious, you personally, we haven't met in person, but I'm curious, you said you've been in nonprofits for 21 years and food security for 7. What brought you into this world?
You guys
Her mom and
might
dad.
get a little yeah.
Sorry,
Yeah.
Shannon. Sorry, I couldn't resist. The phrasing on the question threw me off.
The originals are why.
Yeah.
But I was actually in radio, and I was in marketing and promotion director.
Wow.
And did a little bit of on-air support, and we went out to help the Children's Cancer Center. And I was touched by nonprofit work. I loved helping nonprofits, and then they approached me to work for them 21 years ago. I was with them for 9 years. And it has been a blessing and a gift, you know, to wake up every day with a purpose. And it's much like a volunteer experiences when they come out to Feeding Tampa Bay. We're helping people. We're that dignity and respect that they might not find in other places. And some folks that we're interacting with, providing that food, we're the person that they talk to that day. So, you know, as working in this arena, in this industry, you know, working with public officials, you know, working with companies throughout the Tampa Bay region, you know, it's just a blessing to be able to give that person a hand up, right? And help guide them along the way to live their best life that they can. And I've just been absolutely blessed for 21 years.
Well, we're blessed to
have you
and your dedication. We appreciate it
truly.
tremendously.
No, I was going to say that, you know, it's a calling. This isn't something that you just, you know, you don't go to school to get a degree to work in this field.
Yeah, you don't get rich doing public service.
This is something that comes from the toes all the way up through the top of your head, and we're grateful for people like you, Shannon, as well, that have stepped into the breach and decided to do this work.
You know what I say often, especially to young people who want to get involved, is that is we all give back in our own way. You know, as you guys have mentioned very kindly, you know, I gave back by running for office, trying to be hopefully as compassionate and kind as I could be while I was in office.
Front porches across the city. Thank you.
But but people say, people, of course, there's only a limited number of spots when you run for office. And I said, you don't have to run for office. I said, everybody can give back in their own way. Shannon, you and Jalem have chosen to as careers, full time. And I've seen the salaries on the website, actually, at Metropolitan Ministries. You guys are, as Jason said, you're not getting rich doing this, but you come home with knowing in your heart, you've made a difference. And that's really better than a pocket full of money any day.
Johnny, we're old enough to remember back in grade school when they would have canned good drives, right?
Yeah.
For the needy, as it was termed in the day, right? For the needy. And how uplifting was it to be a third grader, to be 8, 9 years old, and you go home and you tell your mom, okay, that can of corn that's up there that we haven't eaten in a while, or that can of Veg-All, I don't even know what Veg-All is, but apparently that's a thing. We would grab those cans and we'd take it to school the next day and we'd put it in the box. And it was, even as a little kid, you knew you were doing something good and it made you feel good. That feeling never leaves us, even through our adult lives.
I hope they're still doing that sort of thing. Are they, Jim?
Now they do it with the mailman. Now the Postal Service is involved.
Really?
This time of year, they'll leave a bag in your mailbox and they'll say, listen, if you were collecting cans, we're collecting canned goods, hang it on the mailbox and then tomorrow they'll pick it up. So there's still good things going on, but man, it feels like sometimes you're overwhelmed. Speak to that, Jalem. Speak to that.
Definitely. And, one thing that I think is also interesting is for a while, we thought there was a face of a needy family, or we thought that there was even a profession that made people be more needy than another family. But what we're seeing now is that the face of need is changing. It could be anybody. Today, you could have, it all together, and then a tragic life event could happen tomorrow, and now a whole family is trying to figure out what to do with their 3 kids. So
grandparents, veterans, children, and I know people have this stereotype about the homeless. Oh, that's that scary guy on the corner, and it's so not true. We see it all over our community, and families sleeping in cars.
With children.
And then this is here in our community. This isn't in some faraway place, right? This isn't like something you're seeing on television. This is here in our community, in our backyard. And I mean, I'll just say, I think to sort of circle back to us all being thankful for. I mean, we all have. We all should be rather very thankful that we got people in this community, genuinely, who work their tail off because they care about it. They care about other people's maybe even more than they care about themselves.
All right, Mara, you got another call.
We do, and I'm going to take that call in real time.
Punch it.
So, caller, if you're there, you're on the air. Tell us your name, where you're calling from.
Hello.
Let me try one more time.
I believe in you.
I believe in me. Caller, if you're with us, tell us your name and where you're calling from. Okay, one more time. Third time is charm, y'all.
Let's see.
I think you got it.
Caller, if you're still there with us, tell us your name and where you're calling from. Thank you.
Drum roll.
This is Leela. I'm calling from Brandon.
Okay. And tell us your name again.
Leela from Brandon.
Hi, Leela.
I'm the director of Court of Manitoba Hope in Brandon, and I've been feeding the homeless and those in need for the last 15 years. There's another side to this whole story of thanks for Thanksgiving. The smaller not-for-profits that are doing the work in the trenches often are not appreciated, and we do the hard work. We go out and we find those homeless people in the woods. We find those people that need a bag of supplies to take with them. And
Turn down your radio so you don't get that feedback.
Okay, hold on.
Yeah,
We can
this
hear
will be
you
in the
2
archive.
times.
This will be in the archive, so you'll be able to hear it back later. But
Twice.
yeah,
Keep going.
Okay,
Keep going, Layla. We're just teasing with
so
you.
I would just like to share with you a story from 4 years ago. I work closely with Nativity Food Bank, and I pick up food from the different distributors throughout Tampa to supply the Meals on Wheels programs we developed through COVID. And on this particular day, one of my suppliers called me and said that he had about 1,500 pounds of meat that he needed to pick up. It was a rainy afternoon, late August, and I went in, picked up 1,000 pounds, and proceeded to call Metropolitan Ministries. It was pouring down rain. It was August, and I had my van loaded. And I called them and I said, I have lots of good food for you. Can you guys please help me unload it? I was told there was no one there to help.
Oh, goodness.
And God sent me a message to call Nativity and see if the food pantry was still going on. The food pantry was still going on. And I asked Henry, to one of the workers there, to get grocery bags and to please hold up at the social service center and have the people line up with their baskets. When I got there and began to unload, I had no idea what was in the boxes. And because I packed them so fast because I had to go back. We gave those patrons of the food pantry that usually never get meat New York strips. We gave them filet mignons. Wow. We gave them chicken breast.
Beautiful.
Gave them roast. And they were all crying. We were crying. And we fed all those people in the Nativity Food Pantry warehouse was able to take 500 pounds back to the warehouse to help their other churches. And if that's not God in my life, supporting what I do, just like when I also took ducks with quills in them to the county jail for the culinary program for the prisoners, because he thought it was the right thing to do, because if they're learning culinary, they can learn to remove the quills from the ducks so that the prisoners in our prison system can have decent food. We spend $59 million a year to house our homeless in the jail in Hillsborough County. This is wrong. We're number one in recidivism in Florida.
Well, Layla, you are exactly what I was talking about, that we all give back in our own way. And we so appreciate you and your acts of kindness day in and day out. And God bless you, okay?
And we can absolutely hear it in your voice. Thank you, and happy Thanksgiving. Please keep doing the great work that you're doing, Leila. Thank you.
And Shannon, you're still there. Those are the types of small groups that you're out in the several counties supporting, correct?
Yeah, so the location that she mentioned, Nativity, is a partner of ours at Feeding Tampa Bay, and we help provide them with food. And, you know, we do all the work that we can. We do our very best, all of the nonprofits in the area, but we couldn't do it without your support, helping share our stories, but also stories like your caller. You know, she also has a passion to help those. And if we all work together and do this, we really can, you know, lift our community and make it really a better place.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So if you're just tuning in, you're at WMNF.org. Give us a call if you have a question or comment for our guests from Metropolitan Ministries.
And we do have a request. An email came in. It says, can you please repeat the website address for people to sign up for help with meals at Christmas? So the website address, once again, is?
metromin.org Holiday Central. metromin.org/Holiday Central. And if you go to metromin.org, that also will
help you navigate from there. metromin.org.
And Shannon, your website is just Feeding Tampa Bay?
It's feedingtampabay.org, and we'll be distributing. We have distributions all over the 10 counties where families and individuals can go and pick up food for their holiday table all through the holidays. We're actually closed on Thanksgiving, but our free restaurants are open, so we're offering a hot lunch as well on Thanksgiving Day.
That's fantastic. And don't get confused, folks. These organizations are not in competition. They're actually in collaboration together. Feeding Tampa Bay scratches ministries back and vice versa.
And I'll say a quick shout out to, I know my old boss, Commissioner Myers, traditionally does a Thanksgiving giveaway at her church at Beulah Baptist. I know Representative Hart for years has been doing the East Tampa Civic and Business Association Thanksgiving, food giveaway. So big shout out to some of the local elected officials out here, and obviously Rep. Valdez, who we mentioned earlier, who are really taking time where, they could be spending it with their own families,
right? Why don't you repeat, Susan Valdez is picking up today and tomorrow,
so it's
right?
the food drive. It's available at 221 North Himes Avenue, Suite B. Say hello to Sarah for me. Please drop off food if you have some spare food. You're making a difference by making a donation.
Literally, their offices is right in the shadow underneath the water tower there in West Tampa.
Right by Ray J.
So, right just down the street from Ray J off Himes. So if you can find the water tower, you can find her office. If you can't find the water tower, please turn yourself in as soon as possible, because it's right there.
Well, give us a call.
It's bright yellow too, honest.
813-239-9663 is our phone number. We're taking calls today. Folks who have questions for representatives from Metropolitan Ministries or Feeding Tampa Bay. We have Shannon on the line and Jalem in the studio. Looking fine today, Jalem.
Thank you.
So you ended up down at high school in Riverview.
Yes.
Riverview's just going.
The Sharks, is that correct? The
Yes,
Riverview
the
Sharks.
Sharks,
Okay,
yes.
let's hear it for the Sharks.
Riverview's
Yes, it
going
was
crazy.
interesting.
It used to be just just tomatoes and open fields, and now it's just booming with subdivisions.
It's going to
right?
change even more.
It's a million. When I found out that that was the school I was going to be going to, I had never even been that far out that way. So
Right.
I was confused, didn't know where I was going. All of my friends were going to Blake and Middleton, and I had missed my application. So I was
Oh boy.
stuck out there. But I had to figure it out. And now there are 1 million people out there. So
Yeah, it's nuts. They talked about many years ago. They talked about incorporating Brandon.
They should.
Well,
I'm going to do a whole show on this one day. I want Brandon to become a town. It's crazy.
Every 10 years it comes up, and I think if it was its own city, it'd be one of the largest.
It would be one of the
cities.
largest towns. So Brandon, depending on how you draw it, could be
Brandon, Valrico.
It could be more. It could be 200. It could be as much as
Riverview.
300,000
Mango
people.
Mango Sefton.
Yeah, depending on how you draw it. But I mean, it could be 200 to 300,000 people. And
So
like
why isn't it happening? Down
because
and dirty.
lots of very, very wealthy landowners, own lots of big property out there, and I think either they're
You don't think
waiting.
they want to incorporate?
I don't think they want to incorporate because they don't want to pay local taxes. I think they enjoy living off the largesse of the county, which is effectively what they do. And I don't know. I think it's also there's a political dynamic too,
Yeah,
right? Because how you draw Brandon, it could be a purple city, it could be a blue city, it could be a red city. And how you draw that map, I think, will determine whether or not Brandon has a future as its own municipality.
If you drew it in a certain way, as Jalem indicated, you might have a city with more population than the city of Tampa overnight. City of Tampa's
It'd be hard. It would be hard.
400,000.
You'd have to make Brandon really expansive for it to have that kind of population.
but
You'd
it-
have to include other
it
little
seems to be
subdivisions and
getting
communities. It is. I mean, keep in mind, 100 years ago, Brandon was 2,000 people. I'm not kidding. 100 years ago, Brandon was 2,000 people. Now it's 200,000.
Yep.
That's a bit much. Stop coming here. Stop coming here.
Full stop.
Now you and Mario are on the same page.
Well, let me just
build
say,
the wall.
There was a time when you left the city of Tampa, and you left the city lights, and you hit Adamo Drive 60, and then all of a sudden it got real dark, and there was nothing for seemingly.
by the way, you said it, and I got to correct you. The family calls it Adamo.
Adamo Drive,
Yeah.
and you went on for seemingly 20 to 30 minutes, and the next thing you know, you see this ominous orange glow in the distance, and you realize civilization was approaching. And what was that ominous orange glow, Johnny? Can I tell you?
No.
It was the lit up roof of the Whataburger. Oh my God! it was
man,
the
I need the
but all
honey
of a sudden-
butter chicken biscuit.
But all of the
these
jalapeno-
youngsters
or
in
the
the
jalapeno
studio
burger.
do not know what
Well,
a
we're
burger
filling you
was.
in, my brother. We're
never
filling
seen
you in, my brother.
The honey
building
butter
is still
chicken
there.
biscuit is the second best thing man has
How about
invented behind
Frisch's
fire
Big
and the
Boys?
wheel.
Well, that's on Dale Mabry, but the building is still there. My point is this: now you leave that. There is no difference between when you're leaving downtown and Brandon. Immediately upon leaving Adamo Drive, right there when you leave, it's Ybor City. It's got building after
Well,
building.
Shannon and Jalem, somehow we went from feeding the hungry to feeding our own faces
Right.
with hamburgers.
I
don't
guess
know,
it's the
but
lack of
Shannon,
breakfast
we
this
appreciate
morning.
you coming on with us today. Shannon's the representative and marketing folks with Feeding Tampa Bay. Jalem Robinson and his cohort here with Metropolitan Ministries. We're going to be talking a lot about that over the next couple of weeks. Folks, go to both of those websites. We gave it to you, information to you.
Avail yourself. Become a volunteer, and please donate.
Give cash. They need it all. If you don't have time to volunteer, hit that donate button and give cash because they're going to turn it into good use. Shannon told us a second ago that $1 creates 5 meals for families, which is amazing.
It is, and we're grateful. So once again, before we get off the air, we've got about a minute to go. Johnny, Thanksgiving coming right up.
Super excited.
Family's going to be here.
Oh, as a matter of fact, I think next week we're going to re-rack an old show. We're not going to be here live unless Jason comes and does the live.
If they will allow us to re-rack a show, we promise we're
we gotta
going to do
re-rack
that.
a show.
We got to get permission to do that first. If not, I might have to come in here by myself because I know you're not coming in.
Yeah.
Listen, let me say that this has been
Tampa
a
native
wonderful opportunity. I know that could be good, right?
Yeah, I believe in you.
Let me say we'd like to
You can
thank
come in. I'll be busy.
our callers, our emailers, our texters today. Special thanks to those of you that called in today on this very special show. Our engineer, Jason Marlowe, and Marlowe, I like to say it that way as well.
Marlowe.
Sounds like Merlot. Co-host John Dingfelder. I'm Mario
Hey.
Nunez. Stay tuned now for the Skinny. Salud and happy days.
Live from NPR.